I died alone in that rain-soaked alley behind the eviction notice, taped door of our crumbling apartment. My brother's smug face, the last thing I saw before the overdose pills kicked in, prescribed by the same doctor he'd bribed to declare me unstable. Betrayal tasted like copper and regret. Ethan's voice echoing in my head. You were always the weak one. Finley. Time to let go. But death didn't claim me forever. It hurled me backward like a glitch in the universe, slamming my soul into my 22-year-old body at that godforsaken family dinner 3 years earlier. The silverware clinking like funeral bells as Dad announced his will. This time, I wouldn't break. I'd shatter them all. The chandelier above the dining table in our Pacific Palisades mansion sparkled like a crown of lies, casting fractured light across the faces I once called family.
Dad,
gaunt from the chemo ravaging his liver, gripped his napkin too tight, his knuckles white as the linen. Mom sipped her Chardonnay with that practiced smile, the one that hid her pill habit and afternoon martinis. And Ethan, my golden boy brother, 2 years older and a lifetime smugger, lounged at the far end like he already owned the place because in my first life, he damn near did. Finley, pass the salt, Dad rasped, his voice a gravelly whisper that cut through the small talk about my UCLA psych degree and Ethan's latest venture capital score. I handed it over, my fingers brushing his, and that's when the hook sank in deeper. This was the night. The night he revealed the codicil. The one that left the bulk of his real estate empire, starting with his $15 million cliffside beast, to me, his quiet fighter, with trusts for Mom and a pittance for Ethan to keep him hungry. In my old timeline, Ethan had twisted that into oblivion with forged documents and a smear campaign that painted me as the gold-digging black sheep. I blinked hard, tasting phantom bile from that alley rain mixing with the rosemary-crusted lamb on my plate. My heart hammered like a war drum. 22 again. Pre-law dropout dreams intact. No scars from the breakdowns he'd engineered. The fork in my hand felt like a weapon. Dad, I said, my voice steady for the first time in years. You look like hell. When's the next scan? He chuckled. A wet rattle. Tomorrow,
kiddo.
But tonight, we celebrate. I've got news. The room hushed. Mom's glass paused midair. Ethan's fork scraped porcelain like nails on a chalkboard. Dad cleared his throat. The estate settled. Finley, it's yours, the mansion, the portfolio. You get the reins because you've got the heart for it. Ethan, son, you're sharp as a tack, but you chase shadows. This'll ground you both. Ethan's smile didn't crack, but his eyes, God, those predator eyes, flashed mercury. Congrats,
sis.
Didn't see that coming.
Lies.
In my head, I replayed the aftermath, his accidental leak of my fabricated therapy records to the tabloids, the lawsuit he filed claiming undue influence, the way he'd cozied up to Dad's shady lawyer,
Harlan,
to bury the will.
Mom,
desperate for her alimony fix, signed off on the eviction. I'd ended up couch surfing with enablers until the pills called my name. Not this time. As dessert arrived, tiramisu dusted with cocoa like fresh snow on a grave, I leaned in.
Dad,
let's make it ironclad. I want copies tonight. And a family meeting with Harlan next week. No surprises. Ethan's jaw ticked. Mom tittered nervously. Dad nodded, pride swelling his chest. That's my girl. That night, alone in my Ocean View suite, I paced the Persian rug, the waves crashing below like applause for my resurrection. Revenge wasn't a bonfire, it was a slow burn, surgical and scorching. First, document everything. I fired up my laptop, emailing Dad's assistant for the will drafts while scouring old family photos for leverage. Ethan's wild college days. The coke-fueled parties he'd hidden from Dad. Buried secrets, that's what I'd unearthed. The big one? Dad's clean empire wasn't. Whispers from my first life. Offshore accounts. Kickbacks from developers in the valley. Ethan knew. He'd used them to flip the narrative, making me the villain who knew too much. By dawn, I'd hacked my old cloud backups, thank God for muscle memory, and found the smoking gun, an encrypted folder from Dad's study PC, forwarded to me months before his death in the original timeline. I cracked it with a forgotten password, Finley Strong. Inside, emails between Harlan and a shell company tied to Ethan's startup. Bribery trails, laundered through fake charities. Ethan hadn't just stolen the mansion, he'd poisoned Dad's legacy to fund his greed. Sleep evaded me like a guilty conscience. Instead, I plotted. Step 1. Ally with Mom, before she crumbled. Step 2. Bait Ethan into overreaching. Step 3. Expose the rot, but twist the knife with something personal. Controversial? Hell yes, I'd flirt with the law's edges. Maybe plant a digital trail to frame his ass just enough to make him sweat. But the real controversy? Dragging Mom's secrets into the light. She'd covered for Ethan's benders, lied about Dad's affairs to keep the peace. Was she complicit? In my first death, her silence killed me as surely as the pills. Morning broke with fog rolling off the Pacific, and I found her in the solarium, nursing black coffee amid orchids that wilted like her resolve. Mom, I said, sliding into the wicker chair, we need to talk. About Ethan. Her eyes, blue as faded denim, darted. What about him? Honey, he's your brother. Brother who'll sell us out the second Dad's gone. I laid it bare, the will, my inheritance, the whispers I'd overheard. She paled, but I pressed. You knew about his debts, didn't you? The ones from that Silicon Valley flop.
And Dad's.
Indiscretions. You covered for everyone. She set her mug down hard. Finley, that's not. It is. And if you don't back me now, he'll take this place, kick us to the curb like last time, no? Like what could have been. The half-lie landed, her face crumpled. For the first time, I saw the fracture. Mom, the enabler, choosing sides. Help me protect it. For Dad. Tears welled. What do you need? Access to a safe. And your silence until it's time. She nodded. Broken but binding. By noon, we had the combo. April 22nd, 67. My birth date twisted with Dad's enlistment year. Inside, bonds, deeds, and a letter. Dad's scrawled confession about a mistake from the 90s, a hushed-up affair that birthed.
Wait.
The name at the bottom, Harlan's wife?
No.
Ethan's mother? The timeline blurred. Dad had cheated? With whom? My phone buzzed, Ethan. Lunch? Catch up on your big win. Smug bastard. I agreed. Heart racing. The game was on. Lunch at the Ivy in Beverly Hills was a viper's nest disguised as valet paradise. Ethan arrived in his Tesla, Armani crisp, flashing that trust fund grin. Sis, you're glowing. Must be the windfall. We ordered Cobb salads, the kind loaded with bacon bits like hidden sins. Windfall? It's responsibility.
Ethan. Dad trusted me.
I forked a cherry tomato, watching it burst red. You okay with that? His laugh was polished glass. Why wouldn't I be? Family first. But his eyes scanned the room, calculating exits. I mirrored him lean in. Drop bait. Heard about your pitch to Harlan. The redevelopment deal. Dad's land. He stiffened. Just a flicker. Business as usual. You should join. Learn the ropes. Maybe I will. If it doesn't smell like insider trading. The words hung, controversial as a loaded gun at a picnic. His fork paused. What are you implying?
Fun?
Nothing. Yet. I smiled. Sweet as arsenic. Back home, I dug deeper, public records on his startup, cross-referenced with Dad's emails. Buried secret number 2, Ethan's Genius app, plagiarized from a dead coder's prototype. The one who'd OD'd suspiciously 6 months back. Coincidence? In my first life. I dismissed it.
Now?
Fuel. Days blurred into a tense tango. Dad's scans worsened. Hospice talks loomed. Ethan ramped up charm offensives, gifts, sister dates, but I stonewalled, feeding Mom just enough to keep her loyal. My controversial call, anonymous tips to a PI I'd hired on credit, tracing Ethan's offshore wires. Illegal?
Borderline.
Tense? My palms sweated through every stakeout update.
Then,
the first crack. 2 weeks post-dinner. Harlan called a clarification meeting. In Dad's study. Leather-bound books mocking our farce. He spread papers, amendments, suggested by Ethan. To balance things, Harlan droned, his bow tie askew.
Dad.
Wheeled and frail. Frowned. Mom hovered.
Mute.
I exploded, controlled fury. American as a courtroom drama. This is bullshit. Harlan. Forged signatures? Ethan's prints all over it. I slapped down my printed emails. The bribes glaring. Ethan burst in, feigning shock. Finley? What the hell? This is family. Family? You mean the kind you evict? The slip, too soon. His eyes narrowed. Realization dawning. Not full rewind knowledge, but enough to spook. You're different, he hissed later, cornering me in the hall. What game you playing? The one where I win. I shoved past, heart pounding. That night, Dad confronted him. My doing? Via a concerned note. Shouts echoed. My blood. Ethan, not your casino. Silence fell. Then the ambulance. Dad coded en route. We buried him under Malibu oaks. Rain like judgment. Funeral black clung like regret. Ethan eulogized. Tears crocodile dry. I spoke last. Dad built empires on trust. Betray that, and it crumbles. Whispers rippled, tabloid vulture circling. Mom gripped my hand, her first real anchor. The reading, mansion to me.
Confirmed.
Ethan got scraps. His rage simmered, but I was ready. Revenge Phase 2, the trap. Ethan's retaliation hit like a Silicon Valley crash, swift, viral, and engineered to destroy. 2 days post-burial. My inbox exploded. Heiress hoax? Finley's dark secret exposed. The article. Buried in TMZ's underbelly, but amplified by Ethan's bot farm. Alleged I'd manipulated Dad with psychedelic therapy sessions, a twisted nod to my old breakdowns. Attached. Forged session notes. Timestamps backdated. My phone rang off the hook. UCLA alumni groups dropping me. Investors ghosting the nonprofit I'd pitched for Dad's legacy. I slammed my laptop shut in the mansion's media room, screens flickering like accusatory eyes. Mom found me there, curled on the leather sectional, rage boiling over. Finley, it's lies. We fight it. Her voice cracked. She'd flushed her stash that morning, a gesture of solidarity. But doubt gnawed. Had she leaked something in her wine-fueled haze? No, I said, standing, the Pacific glittering mockingly outside. We don't fight fair. We end it. Controversial decision numero uno. Go public. But weaponized. I called my PI. Voice low. Dig on Harlan's wife. And Ethan's exes. Anyone with grudges. Borders blurred. This was vigilante journalism. American grit meets hacker ethic. By evening, I had dirt. Ethan's assault allegation from college. Hushed with Dad's money. Not rape, God. No gore in this tale, but coercive enough to scar. The victim? Silent, but traceable. I drafted an anonymous post for a Reddit thread, r/Los Angeles Legal Eagles, dropping hints without names. Brother steals inheritance via smears. Who's got the real files? Flames spread. Lawyers damned. Tension coiled like a spring. Every creak in the mansion felt like Ethan's footsteps. He struck back harder. That weekend, concerned, friends cornered Mom at her yoga class, Ethan's plants, feeding her paranoia. She came home shaking, pills rattling in her purse. He says you'll ruin us all. Finley. That you're unstable. Like your episodes. My gut twisted, the old wound. In the first life, she believed him, signing the eviction amid her fog.
Now?
I knelt, eyes level. Mom, look at me. I'm here. We're the stable ones. Remember the safe? Dad's letter. She froze. What about it? Read it again. With me. We cracked it open under the study lamp, shadows dancing like ghosts. Dad's script. Finley my anchor. The mistake was mine. Long ago. A night in '98. Vegas deal gone wrong. Harlan's sister. Elena, your aunt by blood. Not marriage. She birthed Ethan. Not your mom. I paid to bury it. But he's poison ivy. Clinging. The twist uncoiled slow. Ethan was a mom's son. Half-brother. Bastard branch. The betrayal deepened. Dad's empire guilt built. Ethan's resentment a lifetime fester. Mom gasped. Hand to mouth. I knew. Suspected. But I loved him as mine. Tears streamed. The enabler shattered. Why didn't you say? Timing, I whispered, hugging her fierce.
Now.
It's our weapon. But controversy loomed. Expose this. And we torched the family myth. Public scandal. Mom's heart in shreds. Tense as a tightrope over the abyss. Ethan escalated Monday. Harlan summoned us. Mediation, he called it. In his Century City glass tower. LA sprawl mocking our fractures below. Ethan arrived with his shark attorney. A Botoxed barracuda named Kendra. Finley, let's settle. You keep a condo, downtown loft. Mom gets alimony. I run the empire. I laughed.
Cold.
Or what? More fakes? Dig deeper.
Ethan.
I know about Elena. His face drained, victory sour. Harlan sputtered, bowtie throttling him.
Mom.
Beside me, added her barb, and the will stands. End this. Kendra pounced. Slander. Will countersue. But Ethan's eyes, Wild now, betrayed him.
Outside.
Rain lashed the windows like accusations. He grabbed my arm in the elevator. Breath hot.
You bitch.
How'd you? No. I wrenched free. Controversial fire igniting. Because I'm not the weak one anymore. Back off. Or the world learns Daddy's dirty secret. His slap came fast, palm stinging my cheek, echoing in the steel box. No blood. Just shock. Mom gasped from the corner.
Ethan.
He bolted at the lobby. Security swarming. I pressed charges that night. Assault. Paper trail gold. Tabloids flipped. Inheritance wars. Violence in the family. Ethan's stock plummeted. His VC backers bailed. Revenge tasted sweet. But the burn crept in. Was this justice? Or just my poison mirrored? Nights blurred into strategy sessions. Mom detoxed cold turkey. Her shakes my new haunting. I hired real counsel. A bulldog named Ruiz from the Reddit hive. We prepped the countersuit. Fraud. Defamation. Elder abuse via Harlan. Buried secret 3. Ethan's coder suicide? Assisted. Per PI footage. Text pushing the guy over.
Debts called in.
Murder light. Circumstantial but damning. The climax brewed at the deposition. A sterile conference room in Pasadena. Fluorescents buzzing like hornets. Ethan, disheveled in off-rack suit, swore ignorance. Finley's unhinged hallucinations. Kendra nodded vigorously. Ruiz slid the Elena birth cert across. Explain this. Silence. Thick as smog. Ethan's mask cracked. Dad owed me. The bastard hid me. Tears? Or theater? Mom testified next. Voice steel. You were mine.
Ethan.
Until you weren't. The room tensed. Kendra objected. But the judge, impartial as Lady Liberty, let it stand. Outside. Paparazzi swarmed like locusts. I shielded Mom. Flashes blinding. Ethan's glare promised hell. That night, the mansion felt besieged, alarms beeping, waves roaring fury. I couldn't sleep, the alley rain haunted, pills whispering. Controversial pivot. Mercy?
No.
Acceleration. I leaked the coder files to a podcaster, true crime darling. Shadows of Silicon. Episode dropped pre-dawn. The app that killed. Ethan's phone blew up. Arrests loomed for questioning. He cracked. Calling at 3 a.m. Voice slurred, booze or desperation.
Fun. Please.
Meet me. The Bluff. Dawn at Griffith Observatory. City lights twinkling like fallen stars below. He waited by the planetarium. Wind whipping his coat. You win. Sign this. Full transfer.
Just.
Bury Elena. I held the papers.
Pen poised.
Tension peaked. Heart thundering. Why'd you kill me?
Ethan?
The first time. He blinked.
What?
The pills. The doctor. You pushed. The confession spilled his plan. The bribes. The eviction to break me. You were always Dad's favorite. I had to. Reset. Reset. The word chilled. But my twist brewed. Sign first.
He did.
Hand shaking. Then. Sirens wailed. My PI's tip. Anonymous.
Cops swarmed. Mr. Hargrove.
You're under arrest for fraud. And suspicion in the Daniels suicide. His scream. You set me up. Betrayals echo. As they cuffed him. Mom's car crested the hill. Our getaway. But the real shock? Her face.
Grim.
Finley? Wait. She handed a USB. Dad's final video. Recorded post-diagnosis. If Ethan fights, tell her the truth. We watched in the mansion's theater. Screen glowing.
Dad.
Skeletal. Finley, my girl. The empire? Built on lies. Elena was the start.
But the end.
I killed Daniels. To protect Ethan. He was there. Young.
Scared.
I covered it for family. The twist gutted me. Dad. The murder? Ethan's poison. Inherited? Mom wept. I knew. Helped bury it. Complicit. The betrayal looped. Full circle. The video looped in my mind like a curse. Dad's eyes pleading from the grave. Forgive the rot. Finley. Burn it clean. Burn it? The mansion. The empire. Poison foundations. Ethan's arrest van vanished down the observatory road. Taillights fading into LA's neon haze. But victory soured. Mom and I drove back in silence. The Tesla's hum mocking our unraveling. Rain slicked the canyons, wipers slashing like judgment. We turn it over, I said finally, gripping the wheel white-knuckled. All of it, the files, the video. Clean slate. She nodded, but her eyes, haunted hollows, whispered doubt. And us? Cops'll come. Accomplices. Controversial endgame. Self-immolation. Expose the whole damn tree. Branches and roots. Tense as threading a needle in a storm. But American to the core, truth over empire. Whistleblower grit. Back home. The mansion loomed like a mausoleum. Its arches echoing empty. I poured scotch, Dad's Macallan. Petey Burns steadying nerves, and mapped it out. Ruiz first. Full disclosure. We're flipping the script. Testify against Harlan. Ethan. The works. He balked. Finley. That's suicide. You'll lose everything. Already did. Once. The rewind ache throbbed. Alley rain phantom dripped down my spine. Mom hovered. Brewing tea like normalcy could stitch us. What about the will? The house. Sell it. Fund reparations for Daniel's family. Elena's ghosts. The decision stung. Controversial as torching your own castle. Heirs don't divest, they conquer. But conquest had killed me. This, redemption's razor edge. News broke by noon. Ethan's bail denied. Headline screaming. Tech heir in suicide cover-up. Protests sparked outside his arraignment. Coders' families chanting. My anonymous drop to the podcasto ignited wildfires. FBI knocked that evening. Suits crisp as indictments. MS. Hargrove, we need to talk. The interrogation room in downtown's federal building smelled of stale coffee and regret, mirrors reflecting my unblinking stare. Agent Torres. Latina steel with a Dodgers lanyard. Slid photos. Daniel's body. No gore. Just pale finality. Your father's involved. And you? I exhaled the truth. Video USB clinking on the table. All of us.
Start with this.
Mom waited outside. Her testimony syncing ours. Enabler's confession. Raw as exposed wire. Tension peaked in the hall post-statement. Torres's radio crackled. Harlan's name dropped in a raid. Ethan's lawyer called my cell. You bitch. He'll rot. But you'll join him. Let him.
Click.
Catharsis. Bittersweet. Weeks ground like millstones. The mansion sold, 20 mil to a green developer. Proceeds split. Daniel's widow got 5. A foundation for tech whistleblowers the rest. Mom and I downsized to a Venice bungalow, waves lapping like tentative peace. She thrived in AA circles, her laugh returning tentative.
Me?
Therapy for real, no forgeries, unpacking the rewind's weight. Was it psychosis? Divine glitch? Didn't matter. It forged me. Ethan's trial was a circus, cameras flashing like vengeful stars. Courtroom in Santa Monica, a pressure cooker. I testified second day. Dress simple black. Voice steady. He betrayed us all. But the secrets? Ours too. The buried bomb. Dad's murder. Ethan's complicity at 18. Witness. Not actor.
But stained.
Gasps rippled. Mom's hand trembled in mine from the gallery. Ethan's glare burned. Defeated predator. Chains clinking like karma. Twists aftershock. During cross. Kendra unearthed my anomaly. Therapy gaps. The overnight change. MS. Hargrove. Describe your epiphany. Whispers. Breakdown. Fraud. I leaned in. Controversial truth. I died. In a way. Saw the end before it came. And I chose different. Jury murmurs. Judge banged gavel. Not supernatural, grief's metaphor. My shrink later spun, but it humanized. Cracked Ethan's narrative. Verdicts landed like thunder. Ethan. 20 years fraud. Manslaughter conspiracy.
Harlan.
15. Mom and I. Immunity for cooperation. Slaps on wrists. Probation. Community service. The unexpected twist? In lockup. Ethan's letter smuggled via his guard aunt. You were right.
Fine.
Week 1 was me. Forgive? For Elena's sake. Half-sibling plea. Humanizing the monster. I burned it on the bungalow's fire pit. Ashes scattering to the surf. Forgiveness? Maybe in time.
For now.
Survival sufficed. Months later. The Foundation's launch. Beachside gala. String lights twinkling against sunset. Mom danced with a silver-haired widower. Her glow real. I slipped away to the dunes. Sand cool underfoot. Waves whispering absolution. The mansion's ghost lingered, cliffside echo, but here, in Venice's bohemian pulse, we rebuilt. No empire. Just us, flawed, fractured.
Free.
Had the revenge worked? Hell yes, Ethan caged. Secrets exhumed. Mom redeemed. But the cost? My soul's scars. Deeper now. Etched with what-ifs. The rewind wasn't magic. It was mercy's cruel joke. Forcing growth through fire. As stars pricked the indigo sky, I whispered to the tide. Thanks,
Dad.
for the fight. And for once, peace didn't feel like defeat. Epilogue hook. 6 months on. A knock at dawn. Torres. Envelope in hand. Anonymous tip. About your
Death.
says you didn't OD, poisoned. Ethan's last play. The game. It seemed never truly ended. But this time, I'd face it unbroken.